Well, good morning, everyone. Here we are on May 31st, the last day of May. What a great month this has been. All the birthdays. Didn't realize how many people were born in May. It's really fantastic. Enjoying the Lord, enjoying what He's doing. Things are breaking out. It's exciting. Presence of the Lord, and every time we get together, people are shifted into new positions. There's new understanding, revelation, new actions are taken, healings, all kinds of stuff that just, wow, just incredible. And maybe a possibility that there's somebody interested in the Snack Shack, and I'll get to move out into what I need to be concentrating on right now. And so it's enjoy the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Enjoy the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. That's Psalm 37 again. It's amazing how He keeps bringing in these different verses, scriptures that just work on us. It works on us. Enjoy the Lord. Just enjoy the Lord. Dance before Him. Sing. Anyway, looking at Kings today, we were embarking on this adventure with Solomon. And Solomon is a bothersome character, king, at times, but we have here that what strikes me is that Solomon was loved by the Lord. He had promised David that Solomon would become a son to him, and he would become Solomon's father, and that there would be great blessings. And really, Solomon was the pinnacle of the power, the influence of Israel on the world, and it's amazing stuff. But what's so amazing is that Solomon's first act as king was an act of disobedience to God. Wow. The first thing he did was take Pharaoh's daughter as his wife. And the commandments were simple, that they were not to take. They were not to intermarry. They were not to intermarry. And some would say, well, he was the king. It was different. No, the king of all of them was supposed to uphold the example, set the example. He represented God to the people, and people to God. It was so important that he uphold and set the example. That's why he had his own personal copy of the regulations for the king. And here, his first act is a thing of disobedience. And we can point our finger at that and say, oh, what a rotten guy. But you know what? He was loved by God. He was loved by God. He was loved by God. Get that in your head. He was loved by God. His first act was an act of disobedience, and he was loved by God. Solomon got himself into a lot of trouble because of women, but he was loved by God. God loved him and responded to him when the desire of his heart was for wisdom to be able to do a good job in governing God's people. Solomon never referred to them as his people. They're God's people, God's nation. And Solomon understood the huge task that was before him, and he asked for discernment, and that pleased God so much. He said, because you asked for that, and not for all this other stuff, I'm going to give you all this other stuff. Does it sound familiar at all? What did Jesus say? I pursue the kingdom and righteousness, and all these other things, they'll be given to you. All that you need, Dad knows everything that you need, they'll be given to you. And yet we waste so much time pursuing things that have nothing to do with the kingdom. That have to do with our own personal needs, where Jesus said that Dad will look after all of that. And quite often we cut off the blessings because we don't receive. But Solomon was willing to receive. Even though Solomon was far from perfect, and even though Solomon's first act was a thing of disobedience, and even though Solomon continued to act in some areas of his life in disobedience, he never denied the blessings of the Lord. He never denied the blessings of the Lord. He never said, no, Lord, I can't receive that from you because I'm a rotten man at any point. Now, I'm not turning around and saying, hey, go out and sin because it's okay. I'm not saying that. Uh, as far as we can, we need to avoid all forms of rebellion against God. It's just, we restrict God because of our own unfaithfulness. But God is faithful. He is faithful. This is how great His love and grace are. And can we get to that point of accepting that? That's how amazing His love and grace is. You know, it's the beginning of the holiness movement was really fantastic, but then it turned into a really religious thing. It became a thing of the Pharisees, really. And there wasn't a lot of room for grace. There wasn't a lot of room for God's love. It was a strict thing of following the law. And we got to understand in this that the law is a fruit of love. Obedience is a fruit of love. Our orientation is not to the love. Our orientation is to Jesus Christ. He saved us by grace. He saved us by His act. It was Him. He saved us. And we fall in love with Him. And then we desire righteousness. We desire to please Him. We desire to honor Him. So the commandments become a desire of love. It becomes a fruit of love. If we approach it from the wrong orientation and we're trying to obey the law out of some sense of needing to earn God's favor. We don't earn for God's favor. We have God's favor. It's been given to us by His grace because He loves us. Because He loves us. As He loved Solomon, He loves us. As He worked through Solomon's problems, He will work through our problems. But He loves us. That's the foundational number one thing. Get in your head. It doesn't depend on your behavior. It doesn't depend on anything. It's a fact. He decided to love us. He loves us. That's it. He loves us. And it's in that response to His love that all these other things begin to open up to us. That desire to obey Him, that desire to set aside things that are rebellious to Him. It becomes an act of love, not an act of conformity. It becomes an act of love. He's transforming us into the likeness of the Son. It's not our work. It's His work. We cooperate. We cooperate out of love, not out of reluctance. It's just enjoy the Lord. Enjoy the Lord, and He gives you the desires of your heart. What did Solomon desire? Wisdom. What did he receive? Wisdom. Bucket loads, truckloads, mountain loads of wisdom. His kingdom knew nothing but peace. Man, the people had to be happy with him because we read of the great supply that he went through. Man, he went through a lot of stuff. So those people had to be loved. But he generated, because of the wisdom that was given to him, he was able to generate wealth for Israel. And the people had plenty to share with the king. They were glad to do it. Enjoy the Lord. Enjoy the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Enjoy the Lord. Love the Lord. Worship the Lord. Praise the Lord. Dance before the Lord. Shout. Just understand. Just enjoy His love, and everything else, it will come. Because the more you love Him, the more you will want to walk in obedience. So those things that you're struggling over, just surrender to Him. Just surrender them. And concentrate on Him. Stop concentrating on your failings and deficits. Concentrate on Him. Concentrate on what you have, which is the love of the Lord. Now, if that's too liberal for some of you, all I can do is pray that we'll be able to come to some sort of mutual understanding in the Spirit. Because this is the gospel. This is what Jesus taught us. Listen, don't try to obey Him. Don't try to obey the law without love, because then you'll just be a Pharisee. You'll be a hypocrite. Obey Him out of love. and not a love as the world understands. The love that he demonstrated to us, a decision. Offer him your sacrifices of thanksgiving and praise today, and you'll discover what real worship is. So God bless, be used by him, draw into him, let him be your delight. God bless.